this guy who you've seen the face of before, Adam Lambert. Welcome to Australia.
Thank you.
It's a long way from home.
It is a long way from home, but it's awesome down here.
It is. Well, you've been, as a singer, been doing it for a long, long time as well. I mean, a lot of people know you because of American Idol, but you were knocking out those notes.
I've been trying for a
before.
while. Yeah, when I was about 20 years old, I worked on a cruise ship as a singer. And we came down under here, and I spent about 5-6 hours in Sydney, tops, about the same in Melbourne. Got to walk around during the day, kind of see the sights, take pictures, do a little shopping, but I didn't get to go out to eat, like for dinner, or go out to any nightclubs or anything like that. So this time I've gotten a little more flavor of the city, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They haven't fed you a kangaroo steak yet, though.
No kangaroo, no. I didn't see a dingo, no koalas, none of the cliche Australian things.
Next time when he comes back and goes to the zoo.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is where you see Australian animals, people from around the world, in the zoo.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where we see them
there
too.
You go.
Yeah. And like I said before, you've been singing at a very early age, but singing in Hebrew as well.
I sang in Hebrew once for money.
But you obviously knew.
I don't
the
know
language.
Hebrew. No, I don't at all, actually. No, I had to learn it phonetically, and it was actually taped onto one of the monitors on the stage so I could read it like out of the corner of my eye.
Wow.
So I fooled you.
You did pretty well, but did you fool them?
I think so.
Yeah.
They loved it.
How old were you then?
That was probably about 5 years ago.
And, you come from San Diego, which is a very nice part of the world.
Yeah.
Lovely old San Diego.
Definitely. Yeah. I grew up there, and actually Sydney reminded me of San Diego a little bit.
Pretty much, yeah.
And I moved to Los Angeles right after high school, so I was about 18 years old.
And in theatre in the hometown?
Yeah, lots of theater and choir in high school. I was also involved in a children's theater group on the weekends that I was involved with for about 8 years. From like adolescence through high school, so it taught me a lot.
Well, I guess because you've done a lot of the big ones, haven't you? Like Chess, Camelot, Grease.
Yes, Grease. Yeah, I did. And then my most recent musical that I was involved with right before Idol was Wicked. I did the national tour and the Los Angeles production,
Which would have been a bit of fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was a great job. I was living in Los Angeles as a working actor, which is not easy to say. There's not a lot of theater gigs there that run for very long, so it was very rewarding.
In terms of musical influences, also like very theatrical stars were your inspiration as well. People like Freddie Mercury and Queen, Madonna, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I guess you could have then drawn influences from what you were doing in the theatre and what you were listening to musically.
Yeah, it's similar. It is similar. Like a lot of the artists that I've been drawn to are people that really give you a lot of visual presentation along with their music, and they put a lot of performance into their work. So, yeah, it's very similar. It's kind of the same school of thought.
It must have been great then getting to perform with Queen.
Oh my gosh.
Those years later.
It was surreal. I couldn't believe that I was up there with Brian May and Roger Taylor. It was bizarre. It was like a dream.
There was the talk that they were going to put you in as their new singer.
Yeah, I think that was a media rumor, kind of like the game of telephone. They basically said, we'd love to work with you again someday, have a talk about maybe a collaboration, but the words, would you be our new lead singer, never came out.
Well, they've used Robbie Williams in the past. Obviously, Paul Rogers was the most recent. Yeah, so, don't rule it out.
I won't rule it out, and it would be an honor. It would be an honor.
Yeah. And, there was a rock band in your career somewhere in the past, the Citizen Vane.
Yeah.
Did you ever record?
We recorded stuff like demo style. We never did anything professionally, no. It was like a writing experiment, and we literally played probably 3 gigs, which is kind of a project, a side project. And actually, the guitarist from that project, he's in my band now.
All right.
So we still play together and write together, and who knows, maybe in the future we'll have some more songs out there together.
So, by the time American Idol came along, you were a seasoned performer.
Yeah, I'd say so, yeah. Yeah, I'd been professional for a while, so it definitely helped my experience on Idol.
I guess, did that eliminate the nerves, or was it still a nervous situation?
I still got nervous, especially in the beginning when it was kind of new. I wasn't used to cameras on me, and knowing how many people were behind that camera watching it was pretty intimidating. But it definitely helped, the theater training and the music background. It definitely gave me a little bit of insight and confidence going in.
How nerve-wracking was that first audition?
Oh, it was nerve-wracking, especially because there was so much time and energy built up to that moment. So it was like, well, if I get canned now, it's going to be like all this time and thought wasted. So please, hopefully it'll work out. And it did.
Do you remember the comments?
Simon was like, "Oh, you're very theatrical," and he said it as if that was a bad thing, and I almost wanted to say, "Well, thank you." I know, and I think Randy called it out in that moment, saying, "Well, look, I think it's time for that. I think that's a good fit for right now." And he's right, I think, because there's so many female artists in the mainstream pop world that are very theatrical, and it's working very well for them. People like Lady Gaga and Katy Perry and Britney and Christina and Madonna and Beyonce and like all these people do the theater type thing, and they have dancers, they have choreographers, and in fact Beyonce I think was doing choreography that was actually like inspired by and lifted from Jerome Robbins and Bob Fosse, which are major musical theater choreographers. So it's definitely something that's happening, but we just don't have any dudes doing it.
When you did the performance of Ring of Fire on the show, and Simon called it indulgent rubbish.
Yeah, I remember that.
How'd you feel?
I kind of laughed because everybody's entitled to their opinion, and I figured he wouldn't like it. It's not his style.
So, do you have your highs and lows while you're doing that show? Some days you walk away, completely like shattered?
I kind of really coached myself not to take anything too personally. I think as a performer, you get used to that when you're auditioning. You get used to rejection. You get used to criticism. And, I realize that they're very influential over the public. But like I said, everybody has their own opinion. And, it's like, do you like blue or do you like green? That's it, And I figured Simon didn't like that one, but he loved that one. It's, everybody has their own personal taste.
Yeah. Everyone has their own personal taste. But when Smokey Robinson stands up and gives you a standing ovation, you don't say, sit down, Smokey.
No, it's an honor. It's always an honor. I'm always very flattered by it. Yeah, of course.
That would have been great.
Yeah, that was good. That was wonderful. But, the other thing, too, is that the Ring of Fire performance, when he said it was indulgent rubbish, I was like, well... Indulgent, self-indulgent, that's what all my favorite performers are. That's what I'm going for, man. So, thanks.
The media in America has made so much of your sexuality.
I know.
It's been sort of like way over the top.
Yeah.
Has that got in the way of you as a performer, or has it actually helped you get your name out there?
I definitely have noticed at times that I kind of would rather the music be at the forefront as opposed to my sexual preference, because I don't think it's news. You know what I mean? I don't think that's not what I do for a living. I'm not gay for a living. I'm a singer. So yeah, sometimes it gets a little frustrating, but it's also really cool because on the other hand, it's being visible and being proud and open about who I am and not having any qualms about it, and kind of showing the world that it's okay to be yourself. And there's something that's really good that's coming from that. I think it's allowing young people to kind of see the confidence behind that and see my self worth still intact, and to see me as somebody that's not afraid of it. And I think that's an important thing to kind of show.
I guess, when Fox News and a redneck like Bill O'Reilly get, into it, and you become content on Bill O'Reilly's show as a result of that. That's a very ugly side of America, though, isn't it?
I suppose, yeah. I mean, it's conservative versus liberal. I mean, I guess that exists here, too. I mean, it exists everywhere to a certain degree. And it's, it's just the way things are. That's how people are. Either you like it or you don't, and either you're comfortable with something or you're not.
When did you expect or know in your own mind that you were going to get right to the end of Idol?
I didn't think it was going to be like that at all. I thought, once I made the top 13, I had a big sigh of relief because I didn't think that was going to happen. And then I thought, I'll probably be off 8th, 7th, somewhere in there. And it just kept going. So by when it got narrowed down to about top 5, 6, I started realizing that I really had a shot. And that I was getting a lot of attention, and that was very validating, and it gave me a lot of confidence to take more risks on the show and to really just enjoy myself and to go for it.
Was it disappointing not winning?
No, actually, I was fine with what happened, because to me it wasn't about a title. I mean, what difference would it make at this point? I mean, if I look back right now and if I had won, I'd still be in the same position right now. I'd still have an album out. I'd still be managed by the same people. I'd still be signed to the same label. It makes no difference.
Yeah. Well, it gave you the opportunity to get in and record that first album.
That's why, yeah, and that's the show itself.
Yeah.
That's and that was the thing, is that by the time I was in the finale, I knew, well, I'm going to get to make an album, and I have all this exposure, and that's why I auditioned for the show. I just wanted a chance. I just wanted to get myself out there and do something to break away from the theater job and have a new experience in my life. And I just got what I wanted. So first, second.
How quickly did the songs come together for this record?
It was an interesting experience. It took, it was, we only had 3 months to put it together, which is no time at all in the grand scheme of things. And compared to other artists who take a year to write an album. So it was fast and there was a lot of momentum underneath it. But what I think is good about that is it allowed us to just go on instinct and not to think too hard. We got a lot of material sent to us by various writers. Some we sought out. And then some of the songs I wrote with other writers.
You got to work with an Australian, Sam Sparrow.
Yeah, Sam's great. Yeah, I've been a big fan of his work. His album's really dope, and I was like, let's write something together. So we did. Yeah.
And Slash, I think, is in there somewhere?
Nope.
He's just somebody you admire.
Yeah,
somebody you want to work with.
But yeah, eventually, that'd be great. He was a mentor on Idol, so that was really fantastic for us to get to know each other, and we exchanged numbers and have been in contact since. Him and his wife came to my birthday party, and I've talked to him a handful of times. He's great. And
all this has happened in such a short amount of time. But you've already been in a blockbuster movie, or at least a song. In 2012.
Yeah, I did the closing credits song called "Time for Miracles," and I put that on the album, and it's just that great kind of classic rock ballad, kind of in the vein of like Aerosmith or Queen or. A big group like that. There's even shades of Led Zeppelin in the bridge, in my opinion.
They would have been working on that movie for years. Yet, did they just suddenly just throw you in as a?
Yeah, it was right after the show. They came to me with a song that they had, and they said, we really want you to sing this. So I said, sure.
Good stuff.
Sure. That sounds great.
Well, fame has also meant that, people have been digging into the past. There was some album on with the show.
Oh, yeah. No, that was an interesting experience, yeah.
When was that recorded?
In 2005, the majority of it, yeah.
You're not happy with it?
No, I mean, to me, it doesn't really reflect who I am as an artist because it was done as a session. I was paid to go in and sing somebody else's songs for them, for the purposes of them maybe selling it to another artist. It wasn't, I wasn't aware of the intent to sell it. So it wasn't really, it didn't have a lot of me in it. It was really for somebody else.
It was a job.
Yeah, it was totally a job. Yeah.
That's now your debut album. In retrospect.
Interesting how that worked out. I just don't think it sounds like me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a long time ago, and I was actually being asked to sing differently than my own style. I was being directed. So there was not a lot of personal freedom in it.
Yeah. Well, there he is, folks. Adam Lambert. Thank you.